On this week's Throwdown, we're in Chandler, Arizona at East Valley Strength and Conditioning.
Our demo athlete is Patrick Gallagher.
We announce a new Throwdown right here on YouTube every Thursday at 1 p.m. Join our entire community to practice the skill of competing.
Use the next 2 days to plan a strategy, grab some friends, and throw down on Saturday.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Travis.
And I'm Mia. This week's Throwdown is a 10-minute AMRAP, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on of wall balls and chest to bar, 2-minute rests, and then 6 minutes to find your max squat clean.
Take two. Hey guys, I'm Patrick Gallagher. I'm 52 years old. I train out of East Valley Strength and Conditioning in Chandler, Arizona. I've been training with Training Think Tank for a few years now. For today's workout, which is wall balls and chest to bar, chest to bar is probably my strength in this workout. While wall balls are not necessarily a weakness anymore, I'm going to break up both, probably starting in the round of 15 in order to save my shoulders in the later rounds of the workout, and then also be able to save a little bit in the tank, obviously, for when I'm pulling on the clean in the lift portion. After the 10 minutes, I'll sit, relax, rest, drink some water, recover as best as I can. And then at the 12-minute mark, I will hit my first lift. I'll hit a lift every 90 seconds after that, giving me about 5 attempts. My max squat clean is 265. I'm going to start at 220 and then just kind of progress and see how I'm feeling. And then in the Metcon, I'm just going to break where I feel, before I hit failure, and where I feel as if I can still continue on with a good chunk of reps. So there you go. Don't mind the nerves. A little nervous about doing this. So here we go.
Don't need to be nervous.
Yeah, no need to be nervous. For those of you that can't see, Brandon does not have a mic right now.
I got one now.
I wish that was on camera to show that. I do love how Masters athletes are just much more thoughtful about their workouts. I wish Patrick would have had a plan for how he's going to break up the chest bars. I know he said he's going to do it by feel, but I think coming in with the game plan is worthwhile. That was a very detailed plan for him.
Yeah, I was impressed. He was breaking that down, and I was like, all right, this guy really knows what he's going for here.
Yeah, he said start breaking the round of 15, which I think makes sense for most people on the wall balls. On chest to bar, if it is a limiter, or even if it isn't, a quick break there in the round of 10 isn't necessarily a bad idea.
Yeah, I think you just have to look at the volume that you're about to accumulate. Like, it doesn't seem like much, like, oh, I'm only going up by 5s, but once you start getting into those later rounds, those reps really start to add up and compound, of where you're like, oh, I should have broken way earlier.
Even in like the round of 15 and 20, there are a lot of reps there. And it's pretty dense, too, with just 2 movements going back and forth. So having a good game plan matters. Patrick's squat positions look pretty good.
Does look good.
And his chest to bars. He's a 52-year-old athlete. He's a semifinal level age group athlete. So if you're kind of comparing yourself, if you're a Masters athlete, kind of take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, positions look really good.
Look at this lady churning the butter back there. Oh, she just stopped.
Chris is at it again.
Yeah, here we go.
Chris got a mic.
There
All
she
right,
is.
so unbroken. Both first sets. I think for me, even looking at this, I just break them up from the beginning, even almost like at 5s.
Yeah.
Just knowing, even if it is that half a second to 3 second break, just that initial break in the middle, I think just allows you to be able to hold on more so thinking about that like 8,
What's
9,
the
10
beginning
mark.
for you? The set of 10 you would break?
I think at the 10, you just break, just even if it's a quick break, and then go same thing again. But maybe like towards the later ones, I would do a little bit bigger sets. But I think that half a second of a break isn't going to like win the workout or lose the workout.
Yeah, both of these movements are very, quote, breakable, where you can break them up and not lose a lot of time and probably save a lot on the back end of the workout.
Yeah,
when
Mia,
your
you
arms
talk
are
about that.
smoked.
You talk about that all the time, of like which movements are breakable. So an example of one that maybe is a little bit harder to break would be like a shoulder overhead, where you drop it, then you have to clean it back up and then do more shoulder overhead. But with a chest to bar, you're just dropping off the bar, and then to Travis's point, take a deep breath and you can jump back up.
Same with wall balls. If you can just let the ball hit the ground, take one breath, and then kind of squat clean it into your next rep, it's such a small amount of time that you lose, and that little break is really good for your shoulders.
Don't let it run away from you, though. I've seen people do that, where it's like drops, hits their foot, and goes.
Yeah, I feel like one thing I like to do is after I've dropped, I think I try to put my hands back on the wall ball. So even if I'm breathing in that kind of like hinged over position, but it just kind of like forces me to be like, all right, pick it up and go again. Like you can kind of keep squatting. And the same kind of concept when you go to a barbell. Like when I drop, try to put your hands just on it because you're going to pick it up way faster than if you're standing tall and walking around trying to get back to it.
I think a good way to keep yourself moving in this workout, if you are breaking in 5s for chest to bar and let's say even wall balls, because I don't think that's a bad idea, is at your transition, you go right away into your first set of 5 because you can do 5. You don't need a break. You don't need chalk to do 5. And then for chest to bar, if you're going to take a chalk break, take it after your set of 5 because then that rest is probably going to end up being shorter overall versus if you walk over slowly, chalk, and then start the movement.
Amen to that, Mia.
What?
I love it. Make your when you're moving from one movement to the next, make your transitions fast. It's good practice in training, and also I think it's good practice when you're doing something like this that's performance based.
It's also if you are racing somebody, it mentally breaks the other person.
Yes.
When you're going next to them and you see them just like hop straight up, even if they're going to take their chalk break after that first initial set, you see someone next to you go and just hop up. It's a mental battle that then you start playing your own head game like, oh, they're way fresher than I am, and then you get roped into someone else's game. But it definitely can play a role into that.
I am a big fan of breaking up the chest bars. I have a harder time breaking up wall balls. I feel like I get in a groove and they are a little bit easier. Travis, I think you're kind of the same way.
Yeah,
where
I hate dropping it.
You hate dropping the wall ball, yeah.
I don't know why. It just feels like everything blows up 10 times worse when I drop. But to your point, I do the same. Break the chest bar way more, and I think I would try to hold on to the wall ball as long as possible just because that's a more comfortable movement for me versus the chest bar.
Yeah, so if you're someone that really likes wall balls, or you're just good at squat endurance, an option for you maybe to be really aggressive on the wall balls. That kind of picks up some time against the field, and then just break your chest to bars every 5 or even maybe less than that.
I mean, his chest bar is still looking really good.
They look
So
great.
that was 15.
Yeah. This is the one thing, if you're not breaking them up early, your rest times in, like, let's say the round of 20 where he's at, or 25, 30, they could be really long. So you lose 20 or 30 seconds every single time you rest. That's why we said breaking it from the very beginning probably makes the most sense for almost everyone, even elite level athletes.
So he finished the round of 20, and he's
Halfway.
just about to hit the halfway mark.
But this is where it slows down a lot,
For
right?
sure.
The
This is when you're
25
getting
and
like
30.
20 and 25, and that's it, right? Like
Yeah.
the accumulation of that 5, 10, 15, 20 is a set of 25 right here.
So that was a good example. He probably took a little too long. If I'm I'm kind of nitpicking Patrick because he still looks really, really good. But I would tell him, get over there, like Mia said earlier, pick up the ball and just do a set of 5 or a set of 10, and then take your longer break. It allows you to get into that groove of the next movement. And it's always easier to step into a new movement than it is to do the same movement over and over again.
All right, I'll jump in. Look at this awesome Southwest Regional shirt we have back here from 2014. I think they should bring the regions back with those logos and with all those.
The shirts are cool. I agree.
I mean, it's just, what was your logo for here in Southeast?
Can't even remember.
The little peach, right? Wasn't it like
Well,
the
is that
what it was? I
something
don't
with
remember.
a peach?
Central East, bring them back.
Bring them back. Bring them back.
Yeah.
You can see the wall balls are getting a little bit more challenging. He's jumping a little bit. Once your shoulders go, this is tough. And something we'll talk about when we get to the clean, but you also need to be thinking about
The clean.
the clean in that you're squatting, your shoulders are going to be fatigued, which makes the pull of the clean a little bit harder. And then the chest to bars, a lot of lat fatigue, which matters when you're doing a clean into like actually pulling through that second pull on the squat clean.
When you say thinking about clean, though, you don't mean jeopardize
No,
reps
no.
here for the clean.
But I
correct?
think we keep going back to breaking this up. You don't
Yes.
want to make a bad choice of doing big unbroken sets to where you completely blow up to where now your first score is bad and you're already blown up for the squat clean. Like if your lats are completely gone or your legs are completely gone, it's going to be really hard to squat clean what you
It's
want.
hard to clean after that. We've done that
Yeah.
before in the past in some open workouts, and you've sold your soul at the beginning, and then you go to lift, and it does not feel the way you would hope it would feel.
Now there is a 2-minute break, so enough time for
Yeah.
at least some recovery.
Some of us to recover, and feel a little bit better.
His chest to bar still look
Yeah,
really, really good.
Really good.
I mean, I
think
know
he's
he had
always
like
opened with 10.
Yeah, he's definitely had like a little bit longer break. But yeah, to Mia's point, I think just hop up, do that first initial set, then take your break. Because it was around like 20 seconds before he hopped up on that one.
Oh, got in the way.
Look at him paying attention. Told him to stop before he crossed. There was that one.
He's got
it's
the
tough.
cones out, too.
Yeah.
All right, so is he at 15 now?
This is 25?
Yeah,
this is
right.
25,
Yeah, this
I
is
think.
around
And this is a good
25.
example of what we're talking about, right? He was done, let's say, halfway with the round of 20 at the 5-minute marker, 4:50, and now this round of 25 has already taken him over 2.5 minutes. He's not done yet, so it's going to slow down. Those first couple rounds will feel fast, and then the 25 and 30 rounds will definitely slow down if you get there.
Orange shirt lady still getting it.
Yeah, crushing it. The gym set up there looks cool. Like all the lockers and trophies in the back.
And they have the assisted pull-up machine right there. Come on.
You know, those are very helpful.
They are.
He's had a couple times where he's lost his rhythm, but he does a really good job of correcting it.
Yeah, I thought he was breaking down at the beginning when that happened, and then I saw him kind of like get back into the rhythm.
Yeah.
What would you say? Would you prefer, Mia, for someone to stay on the bar if they lose their rhythm, or should they just drop off and then reset?
I think for someone like Patrick, because he has such good body control, I think it's fine. If you're trying to correct it, but you're not getting your positions back, then I would just drop off. For him, I'm not sure what's going on when he loses that position, but it's clear that he has the strength and control that he can gain it back. So I think it's perfectly fine for him.
Sometimes I think with chest bar, it's a little easier than just like the traditional pull-up to get thrown off when it's like you hit harder or pull in too deep into the chest bar from that position.
Man, I've hit my chest really hard. Like when you get fatigued and you pull in too aggressive. I've hit my chin too, but nothing.
I actually have not hit my chin. I need to knock.
I think Mia, didn't you like bust your chin at one point?
No, that was Ansley.
That was a throwdown.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
That was like the first rep of a throwdown.
I was judging her, and I was like, Chris, turn the camera away.
Hey, Skittle Daddy, a couple weeks ago we had some multicolored cones in a throwdown. What do you think about these multicolored cones?
I like them. I like it. I'm going to be honest. I thought it was for somebody doing shuttle runs. Told me it was like, I think he's got it outlined.
No, I get it because I do that every time, and it means nothing to anyone.
It's so
you set up
annoying
a
when
cone barrier, no one notices.
The same thing is like when you do semifinals and all of that. When we set up, you got to have caution or danger tape put up everywhere. And then people,
you need
they finally understand when you see
physical barrier for people to run into.
I mean, it sounds silly, but it's a pro move. If one person stands in front of your camera, you got to redo the video.
Why is Travis the Skittle Daddy?
There was a day me and Mike were lifting, and we were trying to see who could make the other one laugh and miss the lift. And I was about to lift, and Mike yelled at me, "Skittle Daddy," and it made me laugh. And
would you yell at him?
I don't even remember.
All right, done with the 30 now. Onto the chest bars.
Hop up.
This is where you just got to go. Grab onto the barbell and do as many as you can.
He heard you. He was like, okay, I'll do it.
All right, he still probably gets 6 or 7 reps here. 2, 3, 4, 6. I feel like max. 7.
Oh, all right. Way to
Nice.
go. That was solid.
Yeah.
So
right.
that was into the 30, I believe?
I was into the 30. Yeah, so 7 reps in the 30. He has a 2-minute break here. While he's breaking, the one thing I'll mention is if you're finishing your wall balls, let's say you're right where he is in the round of 30, look at the clock on your last break of wall balls and then take a risk there. That's the one point I would think, like if you had 12 wall balls left, just go for it and then sprint to the pull-up bar and get as many reps, because the chest to bar reps will be easier for most people than wall balls just because they're faster, right? You can get 7 or 8 reps in 7 or 8 seconds, whereas 7 reps on the wall ball is going to take you 14 or 15 seconds.
Now, how different athletes approach a lift after a Metcon is very different. For me, I like to start lifting as soon as I can, and I'll take a very light lift. Even if it were allowed, I might even take one in the 2-minute break that I knew wouldn't count. Just it depends on the competition if that is allowed or not, but just so that I can start moving, because I like to take a lot of lifts. I know he said he was going to take a lift every 90 seconds. That's quite a bit of lifts. Travis, you would probably take what?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the
lifts
same
this
as you.
whole-
No, I like to take a lot, I think, but if there was a window right now, I would honestly probably just hit like 185, like something like, there's not a question that I know I'm going to hit it, because that initial pull for the first rep just feels weird. It's a strange feeling every time you finish a Metcon. So start more conservative just to like build the confidence, and then I usually make more aggressive jumps. And sometimes I think in a 6-minute window would probably be 4. I think probably like max attempts, maybe a 5th one kind of like at the buzzer, but much more than that, I don't like to do that many. But even if it's like on a minute, because I feel like there's so many times we've done workouts on the minute that you just get used to being able to still lift heavy at that.
Yeah, so Patrick said he's starting at 220 pounds and his max is 265. So he's starting at 83%, which I do think is a little too heavy for where you should start. So for most people, probably start like 65 to 70% or even lighter than that, and then take a big jump after it. But to Travis and Mia's point, that first lift always feels so foreign.
Yeah.
And you can see
there it is. Yeah.
Right, there we go.
Can someone change your weights on this, Brandon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, someone can change the weights. It looks like no one is going to help him with that.
That probably plays into his strategy as well, because you're going to spend a lot. Like to me, changing weights is not resting.
I agree.
No, it's a workout.
There you
So
go.
good turnaround there.
Yeah,
He knew
for
he could
sure.
hit it, but that's a perfect example of like, don't waste the energy. Maybe he should have started at 185 or 135 and then really quickly added some weight to it. It just makes it a lot easier. You kind of get in that groove.
I feel like it just allows you to make big jumps after that. Like you're warm, but just getting that like
You just have
feel
to-
of the weight in your
feel
hands.
the movement pattern and just make sure your timing is right because he didn't under pull it. He almost over pulled it. It's just he wasn't ready for that kind of weight yet.
It really is so strange how it can feel completely foreign when you change to a heavy lift.
After you've done 100
Yeah.
something wall balls and
It's-
chest to bar to then
To me, it's like, have you guys ever done a clean pull where you're like, how did I ever clean this?
every time
All the time.
every time I clean pull or snatch pull, I'm like, there's no way I could snatch
There's
this. And
no
then the
way.
next day I snatch it. I'm like, huh.
It
Well, how
blows
about
my
that?
mind.
It really is demoralizing.
Did he throw 10s on? Kind of. Maybe
It looked like
looks
you threw
he
10s on
threw
each
10s
side.
on. So that would be.
20-pound jump.
Yeah, so
So
Yeah.
240,
Or is
So,
there
I mean,
maybe
he's at, like-
2.5s on the inside then?
85, 90% now. I wonder what his like end goal.
I think it's important for athletes to know what's realistic for you to hit under fatigue, which we are working on in Compete right now. But it's so different. Like for me, my best chance at PRing a lift is in a situation like this. But maybe for someone like Mike, who's so strong, he knows that he's going to tap out at a certain percentage. So he's going to like come up with a plan to approach that. So knowing what category you fall into really changes how you approach something like this.
that's so true. I think the really strong athletes.
I didn't get an amen for that one.
The really strong athletes in the sport typically will kind of like cap out at maybe 92 to 94% and something like this based on the data that we have. For those though that Mia's talking about that maybe are a little bit more enduring or they lift well under fatigue, we see PRs all the time, especially in something like, the quarterfinal style workout where there's a lot of people that are competing. Again, at the top end though, you're probably getting maybe 5 or 10% below your 1RM. That was
Not very often
91
we're hitting. Yeah, not very often we're hitting our max. And
Right. So what Patrick just hit was 91% of
Let's
his
see.
1RM, and that actually still looked, he overpulled that one too. It kind of
I
crashed
feel
on
like
his
that'd
shoulders.
probably be right. That has me at 360.
Yeah.
Which I feel like in a format like this, probably 365 to 375 would be like the target end goal where I would
But
try
you're
to
not
shoot
looking
for.
you're not looking to PR here. Whereas
Absolutely
maybe
not.
someone that's a new trainee
Yeah.
could PR.
Could PR, yeah. If I'm PRing at the end of this, wow, this is a great training cycle we were running then.
I think this is 260 or 250. Was it fives on the
feel like-
outside?
I thought it was fives. Oh, come on! Get it! Come on! Get it! Yeah.
All right.
The real question is he gonna risk it and go for it? He's got 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Can he do it?
I think
No,
it's tough if you don't have someone changing your weights, but
He has
maybe he
until
is.
the 18.
Oh,
That's a 2-minute break.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's got time.
He's
So
got
he's
plenty
gonna.
of time.
This is like PR. He's going for a PR or tie in the PR.
He has the opportunity here.
Wow, what suspense!
Is that a matador tree behind him?
I think it
right behind
is.
his head.
It might be.
Man, the things that Chris can point out, just incredible.
I can't even see that far.
I think it's incredible what he focuses on.
You've got great eyes.
I was
going to
point out the
Yeah, I think he
trophies,
has
but those were
terrible eyes.
obvious, so I
they?
skipped them.
Some people might not be able to see those. Take
You
your
guys wanna-
glasses off and see if you can see them.
You guys can't see, but Chris's face is like 12 inches from the screen right now.
I can actually tell one of these trophies is for a first grade reading competition.
So at this point, 2 minutes left. You want to definitely be clock aware. You can time it where you're either going to just take one more lift, or you want to set it up where you can, if you make this lift, you can take like a Hail Mary lift at the end. But especially if you're changing your own weights, you're going to have to be really specific about when you pull that final rep. So I'd say if he doesn't pull it by like 17:10, 17:15, then this is probably his last lift.
Yep.
My question for you guys would be, how much time do you need for the Hail Mary lift? Even if you had someone changing your weights, like what's the turnaround time that you actually can get an appropriate, like a good attempt in with something
give
that's
me,
close
like,
to a PR?
40 seconds, 45 seconds. I feel like I could be pretty close. So if someone if I hit one that's like really heavy at 17:15 and someone loads it, I would lift
You could do it.
I think I could be really
I
close
think
to
it depends what's at stake.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. If it's like go to
If
the
it's like
games.
when it was like when we had to qualify for the games out of the open,
Right.
I feel like I could try to call on that strength. Yeah, but right here, 7:10, 7 or 17:15.
yeah, no, I think this is a good time.
Come on. I want him to do it.
Oh, I don't know. That was pretty high.
It was high, but you could see it off the ground,
Yeah.
just a little forward. I wonder what he jumped to, if that's 65.
It's hard to see from here. Chris?
But he has
Yeah,
time.
Chris,
He has
can
time
you
for
X-ray
another
vision?
attempt.
What's the question?
Did he
There's
go
no way he can
55 to
tell.
65? Is that what he went to? I think he had it.
I was looking at the trophies.
Yeah, so same thing, right? Like, so he's got 20 seconds left. If you're going to take this attempt, it's also one of those things, too. Like, what's the standard? Is it like I can pick this up at 17:59 and it still counts, or the rep needs to be completed by that time? Yeah.
I do think that's important, you know, depending on what the standards
sure.
are, that's going to dictate when you take that second to last
Yeah,
lift.
because that extra 10 seconds can make a big difference.
Oh, and he almost rolled his ankle there, taking off the shoe.
Great job,
Yeah,
Patrick. That was
great
awesome,
job.
man.
Good job.
All right, hey guys. Okay, that was throwdown 267. Whew. Chest to bars failed on me earlier than I had anticipated. Lost my grip a couple times. Just tried to hold on best as I could. Wall balls weren't too bad. Just got the heart rate elevated and just fatigued my chest to bar. And then because of all the squats with the wall balls, I just didn't have the pull and the explosiveness that I thought I'd have. So I got to 250, which I'm okay with. I think my 97% is like 257 or something like that. So for this workout at 6:55 in the morning, I'm pretty happy with how it went. Only thing I probably would have done different was maybe go smaller sets on the chest to bar maybe. I think the wall balls were fine. And then maybe start at a lighter weight so I didn't miss an attempt. And then incrementally jump 5 pounds instead of 10 pounds. Just, you know, wanted to try to eat this morning and put up as much weight as I possibly could. So anyway, thank you for asking me to do this. It's an honor. Really respect all you guys. And have a great rest of your day. Good luck.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pata in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Let it be known, what it be known, what it be known, you know what I'm saying? Pata.